I'm going to start with an advice. If any European country want to start business in Africa, please don't go to bribe them with whiskey. Whiskey is synonymous with slave trade. And people will think that it is a fresh beginning of slave trade that is about to begin again. It's bad memories. When they used to come, they give the African leaders whiskey in exchange for slaves. Go with electronic bikes, these electric bikes. Carry with you electric bikes and you make business. Lots of business. That's an advice. If you follow my advice, you will become billionaires. And when you become billionaires, then you tell me thank you. Yeah. Anyway, let's begin today. The topic of today is about the confusion that is coming about again. I thought I had explained myself clear with the tablets of which you read about ANUnnaki. Is what people don't want to divorce from what they want to believe. But if they themselves have confessed, why are you trying to believe the opposite? Enryu or Enki. So all of our people are trying to say Enryu is Yah, Enki is Yahushua, or the one they are calling Jesus. Anyway, I don't believe in Jesus. I believe in Yah and Yahushua. So Jesus is something else. So now with this tablet, let's come and debunk the creation story from ANUnnaki. So we are going to check out if really ANUnnaki created us, or if we are hybrids of ANUnnaki. So are they Yah and Yahushua? So let's find out. And this time, please forget about your beliefs. Just use your power of thought. And make your decision. If you are going to praise Yah, or you are going to praise Enryu, or Enki, or if you are going to praise Yahushua, you have to make your choice before it is too late. This slide basically is to introduce the names of the ANUnnaki people, some names of ANUnnaki people. It is good that you scrutinize these names, because later on we are going to discuss and compare these names with the names of the angels who descended from heaven, and they became the mess to the mankind. Remember, now people are saying these are the ones who are described in the Bible. The ANUnnaki people, they are the ones who came mess with the mankind. So we are going to see later on that the angels and the ANUnnaki are very different people, if we are going to call them people. That's the purpose. So just scrutinize these names very clearly. We are going to refer to them afterwards. So, who is Yah or Yahuwah? First, you have to know that Yah does not change. If we read in Malachi, he says, "But I, Adonai, do not change." Malachi 3 verse 6. This means that he cannot put up a law and at the same time act against the law he made himself. What Yah hates, he does not say later that I like it. That's what we have to know. So in that way we shall see the character of the Anunnaki. Those people who say that those people are they are the creators. And what Yah sets as his laws and a decrease. So in Leviticus 18 verse 6, we read, none of you is to approach anyone who is a close relative in order to have sexual relations. I am Adonai. He has said people who are close related, they should not marry. But Nibiru people are marrying their sisters. Even you have seen the introduction, that list of names of the Anunnaki. They are marrying their sisters. They are raping people. They are rapists, like Enki. So Enki, Enlil actually was a rapist. How can you, set laws against marriage to close relatives? And if it is these people, the Anunnaki, then go ahead to marry their own relatives. That means and Enlil are different people. If I shouldn't call them people, they are different. So Enlil cannot be because he sets laws against marriage between people who are closely related. But Enlil is marrying them. He's marrying their sisters. They are marrying their sisters. That's how the character of the Anunnaki. If we read in Deuteronomy 22, 23 to 29, it shows that Yah hates rapists. So Enlil or Enki cannot be Yah of the Bible because he married very close relatives, as you see in the introduction. Enlil was also a rapist, and Yah hates rapists. Yah, Yahuwah, is the beginning of creation. The beginning of creation is not Nibiru people, because you can see the Nibiru people, they are from Nibiru, a planet that was made by Yah. As he has said through his prophets, if you look at Nehemiah, for example, chapter 9 verse 6, he say, you alone are Adonai, you have made the heavens of heavens with all their host, the earth and all that is in it, the seas and all that is in them, and the heavenly host bows down before you. And now the Anunnaki, the one people say it is Yah, the one who say it is they say it is Jehovah, they say it is Yahweh. People they say Enlil was Yah himself. But Enlil is confessing. He says the creation is in the hands of the Father. Creation in the hands of the Father of all the beginning alone is held. Enlil respects the Creator. He respects Yah. So if he respects Yah, what point are you making when you are trying to say Enlil is Yah? Is there any point? Why should you even try to believe Enlil is Yah, the Anunnaki people, the Yah, the creators, when they themselves are confessing with their own mouths, writings, they say creation belongs to the Father of all the beginning alone. And that Father of all the beginning is the one in the Bible who is called Yah. So he confesses that Yah is supreme creator. It's not the Anunnaki. None of the Anunnaki is the supreme creator. So get it clear. Very clear. But then people ask, why Bible and Anunnaki, there are similarities. What Anunnaki have written is what the Bible has written. So they say the Bible has borrowed from Anunnaki people simply because of some similarities. Now, can I ask you one question? If you go to Africa, you find people writing books about the Thomas, about the Jefferson, and calling their baptizing their children with names of Thomas, Jefferson, and such things, and Duncan. What else? Other names. There are many names, European names. Why do they baptize their children? Why do they call their children those names and they are African? Those names are not African. It only shows that they have been in contact with the people who have those names. It's just as simple as that. The similarities akin to the Bible, such as the 70th day, you hear in the 70th day, the 107th day, the word Eden, the one they call Eden, the Adamu, whom they say they created, the Anunnaki say they created, is a clear indication that in their history, Yah, who is the God of the beginning, communicated with them, and some heavenly names have been recycled over and over again. Like you see Liverpool in America. If you see something like that, you will know that a British was in America. There was some British in America, obviously. That's how it goes. The ones have been recycled because of having been in awareness of that was before. So it keeps recycling. Wherever place somebody goes, you hear that name. It is repeated again. And the ancestors recall those names. Sometimes those names just become a folklore, but they are recycled again and again. We also have common heavenly names being recycled in the tribes of the earth, like Abba. Abba is a heavenly name. Baba, Babu, Abu. They refer to their father. See? Ma, Mama, Mami. They refer to the mother, etc. These ones, they are uttered by their children even before they are taught those names by anyone. They say those names. They are heavenly names. They are common everywhere with the tribes of the earth. That means there is a common origin we are aware of, where these names come from. They are recycled over and over again. We did not come to Europe to copy the one Baba goes to another. No. These are original names which were there. We were in contact with these names into a certain source in the past. So we are not copying from one another. They have been there, these names. So it is very good to understand that. Instead of saying Bible copying from these people, no. Let's understand the Nibiru people, what they are saying themselves. What are they saying? And we believe what they are saying. Not to put. Even Yahushua himself used the word Abba to refer to the Father. If you go to South Africa, you hear Abba. It shows prior communication with the heavenly host of Yah, the origin of words. That's where the words originated from. So, because that's where they originated, you go to segments of the populations in the country, you hear these words are repeated over and over again. It's because prior, it has been there from the originally where they were. They got those names from there. They have been recycled over generations. Some have become even folklore. That's how you find it. Nibiru people, they are using such words because they have been there, and the Bible uses the same words because the source of those words is the same. From the origins of those words is the same. So we learned it from the origin. The Nibiru people learned those words from the origin. So if you come across the ancient words similar to the ones we use, you cannot justify who copied from who. It only means that they got the words from where we got them from, and that is the Creator. That's the Creator. That's where they got the names from. What about Anunnaki story about converting wild animals to become humans? Of course, you understand this, we are talking of conversion because it did not create anybody. And those humans are us. People say we were created by Anunnaki. Well, actually, the actual names, terminology that should be used according to what they did is they re-engineered the wild creatures to become us. So you are something else before they put genes to make us the way we are. But remember, we are not the first people to say this. Even Yahushua himself, what did he say about it? He said, you know, when Yahushua talks about something, he said, when you know the truth will set you free. And was talking of things that was then and that was to be in the future. And the people are not understanding him, even the disciples. They are not getting him clearly. That's why they were asking, you know, if the kingdom of God is already here. Yeah, they wanted to make Yeshua the king. Now, because of this, Yahushua said in Matthew 13, 25 to 30, he says, but while people were sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat, then ran away. That is exactly what Anunnaki and others did. Those who messed up with God's creation. They are enemies. They were driven by the Satan, the will of Satan, to mess up with God's creatures. That is what it means. It does not only mean that where Satan comes and plants wrong things into the people, and then the people do the wrong things, you know, like, going to drinking, going to steal, going to, such things. It's not all that literal. While it applies literally, or to semantically, it applies, and the actual meaning also, he is also applying to refer to such things like these ones. That's why he says, when the time comes, Yah is going to correct everything. Yah will come later, afterwards, at the conclusion of things. He's going to correct everything. That's why he says, Yah is going to gather the wheat and burn the weeds. You gather, you tell his angels to gather the wheat and then burn the weeds. That's what will happen. While people are sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat, then ran away. They messed up with God's creation. That is the implication of this. This is the semantics which Yeshua was telling the people, but the people could not understand. And the religious people, they have been teaching us very literally because they didn't know this. But you see, now we are knowing the truth and we are understanding the Bible better. It is not only the Anunnaki story, but many stories from different tribes tell of their version of creation. Like India, wherever you go, they have got their own version of creation. And they all have some resemblance to the Bible. That means all versions, including that of the Anunnaki, originated from one true story of creation. But this story has been adulterated over time. They have been shaped this way and this way. And it lost the actual message. And that's why Yah had to communicate with the prophets to write the Bible. because he has understood that the conclusion of things is coming, and he has to bring Yeshua into the earth, and the message that was there in the beginning and being corrupted, people no longer know the truth. So that's how he had to write the Bible. When scientists want to make their own creations, they use these stories to give them ideas, even to discover things, even to manufacture machinery. They use these ideas from the Bible, and they make splendid machinery from that, from what the Bible has described. Believe me. The scientists may use the simple words to explain how they did things. And that's how Nibiru came to use methods and the terminologies borrowed from the original story of the creation. That's how they make so many messes before they strike a resemblance of what they are created. For example, Yah created man directly from the ground. But Anunnaki, they just made a bowl from the soil, like a test tube, which they used to fertilize the female seed from the being which was roaming on this earth, which was created by Yah, and the seed from Anunnaki, who also confess he was created by Yah, because Anunnaki says he was created by the God of all the beginning, and that is Yah himself. So while Yah created man from the soil, from the ground, from the dust, Anunnaki, they made a bowl like our scientists, and they did this in vitro fertilization between the egg of the human, the creature which was here, and the Anunnaki sperm. Then they fertilized them in the tube and put the fertilized egg back into the woman so that the fetus can grow. That's all what they did, and that is making hybrids. It's not creation, it's making hybrids. So don't forget that part. They have created differently. They are creating directly from the soil, and these people create hybrids from the creatures they are created. Says that should be very clear. Yeah, Yahuwah created what was perfect, because when Nephi created, he said it is perfect, and it was. But Nibiru people, they made imperfect hybrids. Yah called his creation Adam, and Anunnaki, with the creation story in mind, actually it is Adam. They should be Adam. Yah called his creation Adam. And Anunnaki, with the creation story in mind, they called their hybrid basically the same, Adam, Adamu. Yah called his creation Adam. But when these people, Anunnaki, made the hybrid human, they called him Adamu. Why? Because they were aware of the first Adam that was created. These names, they were aware of these names from the beginning. The names come originally from the Father. They knew what Adam means. Yeah. So in that way they got the name. Brainstorm a name. We call this one. They say Adam. It was already in their conscience. Who put that word Adam in their mind is the Father of all the beginning. So if Yah creates Adam, so you find the tendency is that when other creatures he has created, they make something of a prototype, the tendency is they call that person or that prototype Adam. But Anunnaki, they decided to call the hybrid female by a different name. see how they diverged from the name given to the first female created by Yah. You see, Yah created the woman from the rib of Adam. Yeah, from the rib of Adam, who lived alone. See, Adam lived alone. And then he created the woman, Hawa, from the rib of Adam. Adamu and the Tiamat, the female who were created, they were hybrids and they were imperfect. You see, the Anunnaki created Adamu, the first male, and the Tiamat, the first female. So, if actually the Bible was copying from these people, why shouldn't they copy Adam and they leave and don't they call the woman Tiamat? It's because we never got this, you know, we never copied from Nibiru writings. So we are different. We wrote it in our way, the way Yah told us to write, and they wrote it in their way, the way the spirit of Yah told them to write, or their ignorance told them to write, because they were not writing in a hurry. To them, it's scientific things, scientific feats. So we caught their first one, hybrid Adamu, and they also did another hybrid, Tiamat. You see, these are hybrids they are making, but Yah did not make hybrids. It's different. So Adam and the Tiamat, the female hybrid, were imperfect and lived together before they were given bone marrow transplant. They lived together. They made an hybrid Adam, they made an hybrid Tiamat, and they lived together. And then, because they were very imperfect, they were infertile, they had to be given a bone marrow transplant from the ribs of the Anunnaki male and the female. Why are they using the same ribs? Because these are scientists. They know, like scientists today, if you want to get in bone marrow, the ones which has got the cells that can grow and differentiate into the various forms, is you can get them like from the sternum. I have seen many of these bone marrows being done. Can get it from, just from, to say the chest is just this kind of like a sternum. You can also get it from the rib, the iliac crest. So what it means is flat bones. The flat bones, that's where you get the right bone marrow from. So that is when they say they got it from the ribs, they just meant on a flat bone of the chest, which is bigger than the sternum. They are referring to that of Anunnaki. That's why they got it in bone transplant. They transplanted the bone marrow to make their first hybrids more realistic beings, because they were actually infertile. They lacked some chromosomes. Let's understand this thing. So it is very clear they have tried very much to use science, and they use the principles of creation from the story of creation to create a resemblance of the original being created by Yah. It's just as simple as that. It's no, it's not rocket, orange. Scientists, that's how scientists of today do. They just theorize from what was created by Yah, and they go on that line and they make a creation. They can decide to come by the names which Yah called his people or his creations. Nobody stops them from doing that. Unlike Yah's creation, Enki wrote that their creation were very imperfect. Look how it is written. In the Kenjis were odd creatures. Their likes in the world no one has seen. The 4 parts of one kind they had, hind parts of another creature they possessed, the creatures of 2 kinds by their essences combined, was showing. Nikizita to Ninma, those are Anunnaki people. The life essence secrets was explaining how the essences from 2 kinds combined can be. The creatures in the 3 cages are too odd. Monstrous they are, Nima was saying. See, the hybrids they made were monstrous. It is the 4 parts of a horse and the hind parts of a lion. The 4 parts of a frog, the hind parts of a hyena. That's what they mean. They messed up with God's creation. That's what Yeshua was saying. They sowed the wrong seed in the garden of wheat, and they went away. They ran away, went back to their place. And this is what corrections will be done by Yah when he takes over, when Yahushua takes over this ground again. So you see how imperfect they are saying their creations were. But remember, if you read the Bible, everything created by Yah was perfect. So you can see they are within. The Bible is not copying from these people. They are confessing the truth. And why should you refuse the truth of which they themselves have confessed? Not only Nibiru have tried to imitate Yah in creation, over the course of history of creation, including today, many scientists have tried, and all of them have messed, and they still continue to mess Yah's creation immensely. For example, in the book of Jasher, if you read the book of Jasher 4:17-19, it's written, "And every man made unto himself a god, and they robbed and plundered every man their neighbor, as well as his relative, and they corrupted the earth, and the earth was filled with violence." Continuing with the book of Jasher, "And their judges and rulers went to the daughters of men, and they took their wives by force from their husbands according to their choice, and the sons of men in those days took from the cattle of the earth, the beasts of the field, and the fowls of the air, and taught the mixture of animals of one species with another, amalgam, in order to therewith to provoke Yah, and Yah saw the whole earth, and it was corrupt. For all flesh had corrupted its way upon the earth, all men and all animals." See, everything was corrupted. They messed up the face of the sea, they messed up the creatures of the world, they messed up just like today. People are just, it's no different from today. They are mixing a lion and goats. They are doing everything. They are doing chaos. In just like today, that's exactly what the scientists, they are interbreeding animals which you should not even interbreed. But you see, to them in scientific field, we have very different species of animals these days. The original ones are nearly diminishing completely. Human beings have messed up. They are selling this, they are sowing the same seeds which Christ was talking about. So basically, that is the fact. That's the fact of what there is. Now we are going to go through a trip of to see how the Nibiru scientists went about messing with Yah's creation. You know, how they went about to make what they say they made us. How did they do it? Their purpose, they said, as they said, the purpose was to create a being to work for them. Well, this may be so. Remember, it's an excuse because Enki had already genetically messed up so many other types of animals. The one we read earlier, that they were very monstrous. He had already messed with so many animals before. when he came on earth, he had very much interest in the animals on this earth, and he started messing them up immediately when he went to Abzu, the brace of gold, which was on the ground instead of the water. He started messing up the animals, so it was not to create now to mess up with the sun to make hybrids of humans. It was just a continuation of his messes. Now he wanted to make slaves, to slave for them, to dig gold. And no, it's not just to dig gold, to do other things too. They wanted to enjoy themselves, you know. And so there was a human-like creature in Abzu. It had shaggy hair or body, head like a lion, and it teemed with other animals of the steppes. These creatures were not in Eden. Nirma, the doctor, was saying, its being, it's not a creature. In other words, it just was human already. It's a human being. It was not a creature. The creature's DNA, when they did the DNA of the creature, they said it resembled theirs. That's what Nigizida said, the son of Enki. Nigizida said that the DNA and their DNA, the DNA of the creature in the steppe, from the steppes, and the DNA of the Anunnaki, they just resembled. They were the same. The fashioning essence has tested akin to ours at the ace. That's what he says. Akin to ours at the ace. So it's the same strand, karyotyping. But it seems Henry was very religious, and he feared and he honored Yah, the creator of the God of all the beginning. He feared Yah, the God of who created all things, and then he argued against this idea of messing up with the earth creatures. He said, slavery has long been abolished in their land, in Ibero. He said, tools are the slaves now, not other beings. Before they had slaves, but it was abolished, and they made the tools to use them as slaves. No tractors and other machinery, those are the slaves now. That's what he's telling them. He opposed their intention, and he said again, creation in the hands of the Father of all the beginning alone is held. In other words, the creation is yours. Don't mess up with it. That is an Anunnaki leader who is saying so. Enlil was the son of the king of Nibiru, the rightful heir, and he feared Yah, the creator of everything, as the Bible says. And he was reminding them to not mess up, because the creation is only the Father who made them. He is one who cannot change them, not us. The Father of all the beginning is Yah, and he caused his teaching to be written in the Bible. If you read in Bereshit or Genesis 1, verse 1 to 27, it says, in the beginning, Yah created the heaven and the earth. Yah created the heaven and the earth. Yah said, let the earth put forth grass, seed reproducing plants, and the fruity trees. And that's how it was. Again, Yah said, let the water swarm with the swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth in the open dome of the sky. And that's how it was. Yah said, let the earth bring forth each kind of living creature, each kind of livestock, each kind, let's put it, each kind of livestock, crawling animal, and wild beasts. And that is how it was. Yah created humankind in his own image, male and female. He created them. So you see, the creation belongs to the God of the beginning. And that's what the Bible is written. That's what you have read here, how he created them. But when the Bible came, they came to make these creatures. They did not create anything. They are not the creators. They are just like the scientists of we have today, human scientists we have today. The way they are messing today is the way the Nibiru people are messing. It did not make them creators of anything. But just like the scientists of today, as much as they are opposed, they use all arguments to make sure they mess up with God's creation. So Enki, his son Nigijida, and his sister Dr. Ninma, they had no fear of God, just like the scientists of today. And they argued that they will not be slaves but helpers. You know, an excuse. We are not making slaves. We are not causing hybrids to make them slaves. We are making them helpers. But see, they are taking them from the steppes where they belong. They make them in something else to use them. What is that? That is enslaving a being. They are using them for the purpose of which they were not intended. Nima, the doctor, was saying to give more ability is the plan. They want to give more ability to this animal. We are not forming a new creature. The creature is there. We simply want to tweak some genes in it, which will make it, you know, be like us, work like us, obey commands, and then that's all what you want, that they can help us. That's what they are saying, because the creature is not an animal, it's not a creature, it's a being. That's what they said. Not only is a human. We have the same genes, everything is matching. So it's only that it is in the world. So what we need is to just tweak it a little to make it more so they can learn the language and understand things, to get a more cognition, or rather to me is to divide this cognition into other ways, like modernizing something. So unless they see it is a very poor excuse. They want to mess up with this God's things, like God's beings, by giving very flimsy reasons that we just want to make it more like our image, you know, just like that. But anyway, you still fear they are. You see, some Nibiru people, you will find them in heaven. Huh? In the fear of air, Henry insistently continuing to argue. We came here to get gold. We did not come here to act like God. We did not come here to do the work of God. It is just to take gold. To replace the father of all the beginning, it was not. Just to get the gold. But you know, this Dr. Nima, he's saying that, you know, what they want is to remodel the creation. That's also they can help them in the work of getting gold. Although she acknowledged that their work is mess, they are messing with the work of Yah, with the perfection of Yah. Yah created the perfect things, and she agreed they were messing up. Because look what she says: with that which in our essence was granted, tools and chariots we have perfected, mountains with the terror weapons we have shattered. So their work is to, they have got knowledge to shatter things. You know, you see, God creates, and then the Miru people shatters them. Just as we human beings, we are shattering everything, even the weather, everything. We are messing up with everything. So they are not gods. And I don't know how long I'm going to insist this. They are just like us. People who mess up with God's creation. Then at long last, you know, when people are defeated, they say it is the fate of the being. But Henry was not defeated. He was not satisfied. He said it is the Nibiru's choice to impart faith on the animal, or rather on the being, on the earth's being, it is not the choice of the being. Because the Statins arguing that it is the faith of the being. Anu said no, it is the choice made for the creature by the Nibiru people, the Nibiru chantist. It is not the choice of the animal, of the being which was there. But they took the matter to Nibiru, to their king, and then the team there, you know, they made a decision that it was about life and death. They needed God by all means to repair their environment, their atmosphere, otherwise they would die of sunstrokes. And so they accepted the scientists to go along and do the job of remodeling, getting more cheap labor from these animals, I mean from these beings. So they given and go ahead. Just like the way we see the crops we have been given, which have been genetically modified. People are not sure if they should plant them or not. The same thing. So they went ahead and they engineered to a reddish white hybrid human. I'm saying reddish white because the man was more red. The woman, the description of the woman, Tiamat, was more like them, just more whitish, red like whitish. Even the hair, you know, it looks like the sons of the sea, the sons of the seashore, which is whitish. So that's why I say reddish white hybrids. When they did the hybrid, the genetic engineering of this animal, then God, the baby born was reddish white in color, hybrid human. So the first one they did was simple insemination. Just got an ova from the being, from the steppes, the woman of the steppes, and then they provided the ANUnnaki male sperm, but there was no conception. They did it many times. This is what is called insemination and direct insemination. There was no conception. Maybe there was conception, but there was abortion for some reason, but they say it was not successful. They took the ovum of the being, or rather the seed, we can call them the seed of the being, the modified ANUnnaki sperm. They didn't want it to interfere so much with the female egg. What they were modifying was basically the ANUnnaki seed. And then they conceive it in the test tube, or rather a bowl, which they were mixing the egg plus the sperm. That's where they did the conception, and then they put it back. The fertilized egg is put it back into the being's womb. That is the creature's womb. The mother, the creature's, you know, is a woman, the womb. Now, the birth of this creature was with the tongues, you know, like when the baby head cannot pass properly through the birth canal, they can be ended by grasping the head and pulling the baby out. So that's how this one was delivered. And this baby was a male child. It was only the hind parts which resembled an ANUnnaki. The other parts were just full of hair, like the creature. The sounds it made were grunting sounds. You know, such sounds, grunting sounds. So they did the more modification of the ANUnnaki male seed, and then again they got the ova from, you know, the ova was always from this creature. The conception again in the crystal ball, they came with this ball from ANUnnaki. and then the egg was put back into the creature's womb. So the child now who was born resembled Anunnaki, but this time was deaf and had very poor eyesight. So these modifications of Anunnaki genome continued, and the more malformed children were born. And the way I'm just concluding here, this was the introduction of 14 genes in mankind. That's why we get people with the genetic problems. That this is the origin, because Ian did perfect things. His creation was perfect. But then, when these scientists came, they came to mess around. So we have now people who are born who are deformed, people who are born who are deaf, people who are born who cannot, you know, with all sorts of malformations. The IQ is low, you know, very low. You know what I mean? This is the mess which they left us and went. The way Yeshua was said, they planted, you know, the wrong seed amongst the wheat. In other words, weed. They planted wheat amongst the wheat, and then they went away. So they left all these to us after planting that onto us. They went away. Earth's being was perfect. If you read the Genesis 2 verse 7, it reads, "Then Adonai God formed a person from the dust of the ground, and he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, so he became a living being." And chapter 1 verse 31 it says, "God saw everything that he had made, and he did, it was very good." Well, the Nibiru people, they are accepting whatever they were making. It was very faulty, it was a mess. But you see, yes, creation was perfect. Very, very good. Remember, Yah made man from the dust of the ground. In contrast, Anunnaki used a bowl where they fertilized the female egg with a male sperm and then put it back in the womb of the female for the fetus to grow, which we normally call in vitro fertilization. That's what they did. So you can see they are not different from our human scientists of today. See, they are not gods. They are just scientists like the ones we have today. And they say so. Why do we have to say that they are Yah? Enre is Yah. Enki is Yahushua. What is wrong with us? I think the people who keep saying that they are the sins of Satan. Those are the people who have been sent by Satan. There is nothing that can be done to them. So if you can't get this clearly, what I'm trying to explain, then you can go to hell. The hell is formed for you. You just have to go there anyway. Yeah. Now, because of all these failures they were doing with the in vitro fertilization, they decided not to use their test tube anymore. They decided to make a test tube from the soil, from the ground. Not, you see, the one they have been doing with they came with it from Nibiru, the Christ test tube or bowl. So they decided to leave that one alone. Maybe there was this formation of the bodies which were making you know, malformations of these conceptions or genetic problems. So they decided to make the tube from the ground of the earth. That is clay, which you know, clay mixed with the gold and the copper, all from the earth. No longer using the bowl from Nibiru. And then they continue to manipulate the genome. Well, they managed to get a male resembling Anunnaki was born, but he was dumb and mentally retarded. The speech was also grunts and it's not. Hence, more lineage genetic health problems of today. You see, they were just messing. But somehow there was a bit of some improvement after they used the this in vitro fertilization using a bowl made with the soil, with the clay, mixed with the copper and gold. There was some improvement. Yeah, you can agree to that. So because they have made that change of the bowl now this, and they didn't succeed, they continue to change their tactics. So after editing the Anunnaki genome the way they did, and using their they are calling it ME formula. They are under certain formula they were using just to make sure to manipulate this genome. After editing the Anunnaki genome and the fertilization of in the earthen bowl now, the fertilized ova was put into the womb of Anunnaki woman. See now? Before, the fertilized egg was being put into the womb of the being, the other being, the creature. The change of tactic here now was the fertilized egg, they put it in the Anunnaki woman. Remember, the egg is from the being, and then the genome is from male of Anunnaki. And then once fertilized, they put it now this time in the Anunnaki woman. And this woman, the one volunteer was Ninma, the doctor himself, who was doing the inseminations. He was part of them, of the group. She volunteered. The pregnancy took around 9 months. In Ibiru, the pregnancy takes 18 months of the earth. So, if somebody conceives here, at the same time with a woman in Ibiru, the one on earth will have the baby 9 months earlier. See? So this one, I've explained what it is, because it was Earth's being's egg, Anunnaki genome, and Anunnaki woman's womb. A male child resembling Anunnaki was born. See, now they have used the Anunnaki woman, and now the child resembles more of the Anunnaki now. No hairs and such. This is the description of the child who was born after this maneuver. The newborn uttered proper sounds, and of good shapes, the ears were of good shapes. His eyes were not clogged, and his limbs were yippee proper. The hind parts, like the legs, they're like the legs of the Anunnaki. The fore parts, just like hands, they were shaped like hands, normal hands. And there was no shagginess anywhere like the round ones. The hair was dark black, and the skin was smooth like the Anunnaki skin, and it was like the dark red color. Dark red blood was its color. See, the color was dark red blood. That was the color, dark red blood. So these are red skin, like the clay was its hue. But the male manhood, this one had a foreskin. And like Anunnaki, they don't have a foreskin. It's like people who have been circumcised already by birth. So that was the main difference, the foreskin only. Nima named him Adamu. She called him Adamu, the baby Adamu, or one who like the earth clay is, somebody resembling the clay. So remember, Yaakon is creation, Adam, and since Adama means earth, then Adam means from the dust of the earth he came. In other words, he came from the dust of the earth. That is Adam. For Anunnaki, Adamu meant like the clay he is, who is like the clay. In other words, is somebody who resembles the clay. But from Adam, from the one who made by God, it just means came from dust. Not that it resembles dust. It came from the dust. The one Adam means it just looks like the clay. The Adam, the one made by Yah, is just means that he came from the dust. See the difference now? Now, you see now they have made Adam. Now the next lady volunteers, they wanted more males, and so they are not using replanting the fertilized egg to the beast, or rather to the beings, the wild beings now. They are planting, because the normal humans who resemble Anunnaki is only if the fertilized egg is put into the Anunnaki's rather. I also would like to realize that the names, just check this name nicely, Ninma, Suziana, Nimanda, Nibala, these are the ones who volunteered now to have the egg implanted in them, the fertilized egg put in their wombs. You realize these names, they are far away from resembling the names of the angels who came on earth and they mated with the daughters of man and they produced in giants or ogres, something like that. So you find they are very different people. The names are very different. Anyway, this time they used Adam's genome. They used Adamus is the hybrid. Adamus seed plus the beings, ovos. Always they were using the beings ovos, always. Now remember, Adamu now is a hybrid. But they use now his seed. Then fertilized eggs, they were put into the Anunnaki ladies' wombs. Before putting them in their wombs, this last time she made a covenant between the Nibiru people and the Earthling hybrids. She wanted to make a permanent connection. So you can see the covenant she's making with the human beings, with the people who are here, the hybrids rather, they are living here. Then in the male part of Adamu, an incision she made. She made an incision on the male part, that is the testicles of the Adamu, and she got a drop of blood. And then she said, let this be a sign of life be, that the flesh and the soul have combined, let it forever proclaim. She squeezed that male part of the blood, one drop of blood in each vessel to them and mixture. That is where she intended the in vitro fertilization. She put some blood there, blood from the testicles of Adamu. And then in this clays and the mixture, othering with the Anunnaki shall be bound, to bind them together, to bind the otherings, we and the Anunnaki, to make it one people. So that Nima was saying, Nima is the doctor. She was saying an incantation. She was pronouncing, to a unity shall the two essences, one of heaven and one of earth. Essences is like life being together. One of heaven and one of earth together being brought. That which is of earth, that which is in the Nibiru by a brand of kinship shall be bonded. So she made this covenant to make a bonding between the other man and the people of Nibiru. So because of this, if Nibiru come here, we are their people. And we go there, we are their people. Because of this bond that was made by these humans, by these people. That is the covenant. So they are happy with the mix-up, the people mixing. The question is, was God happy when people are mixing like this? Were they happy? Because if the Bible was copied from Nibiru, it should show that God himself is happy with mixing like this one. While Nibiru people are celebrating the mix-up, you know, making, interbreeding with humans or with the beings, yeah, doesn't like that. He hates it, and he's annoyed. He never want a mixing of breeds. So he never wanted a mixing of his heavenly angels with man. And when they cohabited, man was wiped off with the flood, and the angels condemned for judgment. The Genesis 6:3-19 says, "My spirit will not live in human beings forever, for they are flesh, and for you were taken out of the ground." We were taken out of the ground. We are dust, or rather he says, you are dust, and you will return to dust. So, and Peter says, 2 Peter, the disciple of God, says in chapter 2 verse 4, "For Yah did not spare the angels who sinned. On the contrary, he put them in gloomy dungeons, lower than Sheol, to be punished for judgment." What did they do? These angels, they cohabited with humans. Yah does not like that mixing. So while Nibiru people are celebrating, enjoy themselves, and making covenants of the union, Yah hates it. So we can't have Yah saying, I don't want mixing on one side, and then practically there he is making covenants about mixing. No. Even with the Israelites, he told them, do not marry any other. You have to marry a fellow Israelite, not from other tribes, because they are going to mislead you, to contaminate you. And it's true, when the Israelites rebelled, they didn't follow the commands of Yah and his hand devices. They married from other tribes, and they were misled, and they continue suffering that even today. That disobedience will continue suffering, and we shall continue suffering until Yahushua comes. We can see the difference between Nibiru. They make covenants with sin, sinful acts, but Yah remains clean and is very much against it. So they are two different people. Yah is God, who created Nibiru people like any other. The way he created a zebra is the way he created Nibiru. The way he created an elephant, the way he created is the way he created Enki. The way he created a frog is the way he created Enril. So basically, they were just created like any other creation. And they say so. It is we who are convincing ourselves to believe otherwise. But they themselves, they confess in their own writings that they believe in the Almighty God, Almighty Yah himself. When it comes to us, we become deluded. Satan is so powerful on some of us, such that even something which is open, they don't even want to know. They don't want to know. The Bible tells you, I'm not God, and you are telling the Nibiru people you are God. What is wrong with you? Crazy. What we are saying in short is, the Nibiru perceives the union of man and ANUnnaki for the Nibiru people as good news, and makes a covenant to preserve them. But Yah hates and destroys those who are involved in the mix-up. Hence, Yah is the only God of all, and Enki or Enril are not God at all. The Bible is written what Yah says, not what Nibiru people said. That's why you see, they don't say the same thing. They say different things because they are different. They cannot be the same people. Enril cannot be Jehovah or Yahuwah. Enki cannot be Yahushua. They are different people, or they are different. It's just simple and clear. So the 7 ANUnnaki ladies who volunteered, they proceeded to bear 7 male hybrids, but of course no females. The next phase was to make female hybrids so that they could mate with these male hybrids. Enki's wife was the first to volunteer. Remember, the first to make Adamu, Nima volunteered. The Enki's sister. Now Enki's wife, Moninki, is volunteering now to do the first female, or to have the first female hybrid. So what happens is they get in Adam's genome plus Earth female, or the egg of the Earth female, and when they fertilize the Adamu's genome and the being's ova, in vitro fertilization, that is the test tube, then they put it back, they put it in the Ninki's womb to develop. And then she gave birth on the 10th month by cesarean section. And of course, according to these narratives, this is the first cesarean section on earth, and a female baby was born. That's why there's a tendency to say where there is a female baby, there is a tendency for a cesarean section. Although that is not the rule, of course. So the baby resembled Nibiru women, and this is part of our description, because the other descriptions is like Adamu. Like Mbichi's sons was the color of her head hair. You see, have you seen the white ladies' hair? Some are black. Others, they look like beach sands, you know, shiny, whitish, something like that. They are black mixing with the shiny hair, you know, whitish, shiny hair. So it's all sparkling. So that's how it was. The skin was smooth, just as an Anunnaki, and the color of that lady was like the Anunnaki's color. So that's why I put it as reddish white, because union of this lady and the other red one will just make a white person, reddish white person. Ninki, the surrogate mother, named the baby Tiamat, meaning the mother of life. Remember, Hawa, the one from Adam, it meant she came from me, from Adam. She came from Adam. A lady came from me, from my race, from Adam. But this one is, the one from Nibiru is named her Tiamat, meaning the mother of life. So in contrast with the lady meant by her, her name was Hawa, meaning from man. He came from man. So you can see the meaning is different. So the fact that there was Adam and the other one Adama does not mean that we keep copying from them. No. You can see if we copied from them, we also would have copied this Hawa. We can have called her Tiamat. Because we didn't, they are different. And actually it's Adam who gave Hawa the name. It's Adam. It's Adam. So here I put a summary of all what you have talked about. The conception of these people is very clear. Because like Adam, there was no conception. Hawa, there was no conception. Adamu and the Tiamat, they were conceptions. There was about conceptions. The people who, the surrogate mother, Adam did not have any surrogate mother. Hawa did not have any surrogate mother. But these others, they had surrogate mothers. And the people who named these people, their mothers, the surrogate mothers, named them. Now, Adam and Hawa, Adam was named by God himself, but Hawa was named by Adam himself. So you see the difference. That is the difference of this table summarizes all what you have taught. Now this line shows that the meanings. Adamu was named by the Anunnaki people, is the means one who like the earth clay is, like the earth clay. Adam named, one who was named by God, it just means from the dust. He came from dust, not one who looks like the dust, but the one who came from the dust. Then Tiamat, the Anunnaki hybrid, means the mother of life, and Hawa means from man she came. So they are very different things. Very different things. So here is a point of wisdom. If I call my son by the name appearing in our ancestry folklore, what is unique about it? If Anunnaki called the hybrid Andamu from the names mentioned in their folklore, what's unique about it? And if the name Adam came from the god whose messages containing the word Andamu with the Nibiru people became their folklore, would it be wise to conclude that the Bible was copied from Nibiru names? Now, so far, it is clear that none of Nibiru people is Ea, the Almighty God. No. Nor any of them is Yahushua, the son of Ea. And the Bible was not copied from Nibiru writings. I think so far we have made that very clear. Very clear. So we have got now two hybrids. Great hybrids. Perfect hybrids. Or nearly perfect. Because they were infertile anyway. So they needed at least 7. So 7 women. They got 7 men. Now they need 7 women. But at first they had to get 1 woman from Ninki. So Niman got 7 ovaries from the other beings and modifying them with the genetic material from Tiamat, from Tiamat hybrid lady. Then you see now what they have done here. They have modified. They want to get all these women, ladies. They have modified now this time for the first time. The almost beings, she has modified them with the Tiamat hybrid lady, with the genetic material from hybrid lady. So that's what they have done. For the first time, they have modified the ovo from the beings. The first time. Then they fertilize them in the with the Adamu seed. So now you can see there's more of Tiamat, Andamu, and Adamu. But you remember the egg is the same from the being. The egg is not from Tiamat. They just use this Tiamat's genome, genetics, to modify the being's egg. Then that being's egg was fertilized with the Adamu genome and made, well, they made the incantation again for the female. You remember they made the incantation, from about male, making the link in between the friendship between the earth beings, the hybrid, and the heavens, rather the Nibiru. And this time now they are making the same with the female, the same way. Before they put them in the mix, they put her blood again in the mixer before of fertilization, before they put the egg back into the womb. So the 7 females were born, and they grew normally. And then they were ready to mate when they grew up and they reproduced. They grew up normally, very normally. And this very very keen gentleman, Nikijita, was very he was very anxious to see that these people can mate and have children so that they can have their slaves. He found that they were mating okay. They grew up normal. They were mating okay, but there was no conception taking place. He was following them behind, seeing what they are doing. So he examined the cause, he did his karyotyping, and discovered that they didn't have any X and Y chromosomes. They didn't include them in their formulas, in their ME formulas. X and Y chromosome was left out when they were making Tiamat and Adamu. They left the X and the Y chromosomes. See? Now, according to science, such males will grow normally, but all the 7 are infertile without any observable abnormality, and they were having sex as normal. They have XX sex chromosomes with the SRY gene attached to one of the X chromosomes, instead of XY with SRY attached to Y chromosome. Now, the presence of SRY is responsible for phenotype determination. These males have female chromosomes, but phenotypically they are male due to the presence of SRY gene. So SRY gene makes this female have the characteristic of a male, the features of a male. So they are males and they are going to mate. The SRY will inhibit the development of female reproductive organs, and they will stimulate the development of male reproductive organs. So Adam the mate is genetically a female with male features, because all what he has is XX chromosomes, but with this misplaced SRY gene, and this SRY gene is going to make the features grow as male, but it's a female, because X is genetically is a female, but it won't develop the features of a male because of SRY gene. See? Now you see, now they are infertile because they are essentially women, and Adam is essentially a woman genetically, so he cannot be fertilized. What of the females? These females were infertile. Why were they infertile? They appear to grow deceptively normal, and they seem most likely to have been, according to the description of the way they grew up, normally they were growing basically like normal. So they had XY, they were XY females with a defective SRY gene. So now you can see the way the genes swapped themselves here according with their formulas, ME formulas which they had. These females, XY is supposed to be a male, but it could not grow into a male because what makes them a male is SRY gene, so they cannot develop a male features. So if it's defective, then the defective SRY gene causes the failure of gonans to differentiate into testes, and without the testes, no anti-Mullerian hormone will be produced, paving way for the Mullerian ducts to differentiate to female organs. So this is essentially a male, female. This is a male, but with the female features, because there is a defective SRY gene which could have meant development of the male features. So what develops is somebody with a male genes, but the female features. He has got everything except that there is no eggs, there is no ova which has been formed. He has the uterus, he has the vagina, he has everything, he has got the breasts. So there is no female gonans developed due to the presence of Y chromosome. Androgens produced from the adrenal glands, they can mimic, the development of secondary sexual characteristics, such as pubic hair and some breast development. She is a male with the female features. She is a male essentially, but with the female features. So she will not conceive because she doesn't have the ova. The gonans are they are not female and they are not male, so she cannot conceive. So those are the sort of things, the sort of hybrids they got, but they are not able to explain to us properly. Yeah, they are not able to explain to us properly. You see, Yahushua said we are destroyed because of lack of knowledge, and the prophets of Yah, they said we, the Israel, we are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. So you see here now, for instance, now this karyotype which they did, they showed that there was a missing sex-linked chromosomes. There was a karyotype showing missing sex-linked chromosomes X and Y. But I fail to see how there could be observably normal developing 7 females and 7 males with sorry, without anyone showing any overt physical abnormality. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 continuously, and then no one shows physical anomaly despite missing X, Y chromosome. How possible is that? I fail to see how that can happen clearly. So how did they perfect the hybrids? It's very interesting. They did a bone marrow transplant and a general anesthesia. They got the bone marrow from ANUnnaki and they put it into the bone marrow of the hybrids. That way, they were able to introduce the missing X and Y chromosomes to Adamu and the Tiamat. So Nikizida is the one who carried this procedure. So he put Enki and the Nilma on the table, anesthetized them, and he put Tiamat and Adamu on the table, anesthetized them. He got the bone marrow from the chest, you know, from the flat bone here, flat bone, this flat bone here, the sternum. He got the bone marrow from the ANUnnaki, Enki, and Ninma, and the Nima's bone marrow was put into Tiamat's bone marrow, and the Enki's blood was put into Adam's bone marrow. In that way, they said that the X and Y is already now it will grow naturally now. That's what they said. So Nikizida and deep sleep caused it to descend. You give them an anesthesia, and then they did the transplant. And they were very happy about it. Then they were awakened, and when they were awakened, they said, "Oh no, to the tree of life, the 2 branches have been added with the procreation power. So their life essences are now entwined." You know that their life, the genomes now entwine now properly. Their genomes, the genes to entwine everything, entwine now, and become one solid, compact. The genes will be complete. The chromosomes and their genes will be complete because of the bone marrow transplant. That's clever, isn't it? It is that clever. Somebody seems to be playing about with our brains. Because these great ANUnnaki scientists, they tend to replace the mixing sex chromosomes through bone marrow transplant. Is that not very easy? With this simple, straightforward technique, our doctors can get rid of all the genetically related abnormalities, even on infertility. There will never be any infertility problems in the world. There will be no genetic issues in the world today, because you simply get the normal people, do transplants of their bone marrow to the ones who have got the problems, and everything is done. Everything is perfect. Are they serious? And these were all adults, you know. Yeah? Are they really taking us for granted or what? Somebody seems to be playing about, writing what they think they know. So, with this, I'm left just to conclude that all these ANUnnaki stories of creation are cooked They are all cooked stories. They are invented stories. Yeah, they are messed here. He has messed up his elaborate story. It's simple. You see, if you are a liar, you'll be caught up somewhere. They have been lying all along, and now you can catch them here. Simple and clear. So this is the time when, you know, after doing that to Andam and the Tiamat, Andam and Tiamat realized themselves that they were naked, and they made some leaves for themselves to cover themselves. Then Andrew saw them and he said, "This is terrible." Now, he repeated again to them, to these people, the other Nibiru people. He said, you know, Andrew fearing God really. He said the whole thing was not to my liking. For acting as creators, I had opposed. He was never satisfied. He just was on the side of God. People should not mess up with God's creations. Now we have points of interest here I would like us to discuss. One, this is a very elaborate story. The process of creating humans is not entirely scientifically sound, showing that it is obviously a man-made story. That's point number one. Point number two, they have failed to explain what happened to their other humanoid beings, not captured from their natural habitat. After all, only female beings were used in the genetic engineering. There were others who were not involved. There are other males in the steppes, in the forest. There were other females in the forest. What happened to them? Did they capture everybody? This is impossible. And then the genetic engineering on them? No. They did the seven here, and then they wanted them, and they married them. But there are other human beings out there. Yeah, the other beings. What happened to them? He didn't explain. They are not explaining that. Were they not multiplying as hybrids were multiplying? Those who were not reddish white. Yeah, because the original creatures were not reddish white. They were not red at all. Yeah. So the remaining must have continued to breed in the world, obviously. Even if probably they were drowned in the Noah's flood, you know, they say the flood of Noah, they at least could have accounted for them because they matter in the creation story. Point number three. Though they said their chromosomes matched very well with the beings, they could not conceive by insemination with ANUnnaki sperm. Or probably they conceived, but the fetus could not grow due to ANUnnaki embryo and rhesus incompatibilities. Most probably, the first humans created by her were blood group O positive, and these other different types of blood, these are alien in origin. That is what all their tests is revealing. It's revealing very well. There was something which is unusual, which were making them, although the karyotype was the same, they could not conceive one another because their blood embryo rhesus incompatibility was in action, was very active. And so that's why they had to do modifications. So what can we say? Anybody without blood who is not blood group O positive has got alien blood. Simple. Simple. Now what we are dealing with is the power of deduction, because whatever in this earth, whatever you make with the power of deduction. That's how things are made. That's how you're able to calculate mathematics with the power of deduction. That's why you do statistics. There's power of deduction. That's how business is done. It's power of deduction. Now, deduction number 4. In this era of UFOs, and identifying the fallen objects and the abyss, or other extraterrestrial biological entities interacting with the people on the earth, some tell people that they created us. Some of these extraterrestrial people, they come, they tell people, like the Grace and others from various planets, they tell people that they created us. Others say the reptilians, they created us. Others say the Nibiru people created us. So who should we believe? Who should we believe? Should we believe these people, or should we go back to the creator of everything? One who is true, Yah himself. I am calling upon the people we are poor to keep in prayer without faltering. As Yahushua said, even the elect won't be deceived. See, there is a lot of confusion. Yahushua said, even the elect won't be deceived. All this misinformation. This one comes, says, I created you. This one comes, I created you. Another one says, I created you. So who created us then? Yahushua said, even the elect won't be deceived. In the book of Noah, the book of Enoch, in the book of Enoch, Noah was reddish white. None of other previous generations had that color, because if the father was saying, no, I don't know where this child came from. It looks like came from the angels, like the son of the angels. That means they never had such color before. At the time of Anunnaki, there were no humans. So that's what the Anunnaki said, there were no humans. It's only the beings in the world. Yeah? And they had to genetically change the world beings to be human. Yeah? The result was reddish-white hybrids. The result was reddish-white hybrids. Now, following Anunnaki account, all these generations were descendants of Anunnaki. That is the descendants of Noah, the descendants of Enoch, and their previous fathers and their ancestors. According to the Anunnaki account, all these people were descendants of the Anunnaki hybrids. Yet, they never resembled what Anunnaki claims to have created. In other words, they were not reddish-white. They were not reddish-white. They were black people. Because the whiteness came with Noah. Never again was there. To the other generations, they were just black people. They were never white. So, how can we understand this? So, they never resembled what Anunnaki claims to have created. So, what is the puzzle here? So basically, the puzzle is somebody is lying. Isn't it? Somebody is lying. Now, probably the reddish white people we see today are the said Anunnaki hybrids. Meaning, black races were never involved with Anunnaki gene manipulations at all. Could it be the reason why other people call black humans monkeys, because of those left to evolve in the world as the Almighty God had ordained? I remember once, saying, Esau I hated. All the same, one of them is lying here. Who is it? Who is lying? Somebody is lying. Anunnaki created people never resembled them. The hybrids never resembled what Anunnaki created. There was a man who resembled Anunnaki somewhere on the line called, No. Then we have black people today and white people today. the creature they created was reddish white, which means the prior creature was not reddish white, it was black. So somebody is lying here. Who is lying? Somebody is lying. It is a question that remains and lingers in my mind even before this narrative is, even before this ANUnnaki issue, is where reddish white people came from, really. Of the black people, do they all come from the same place? But there seems to be an answer here. And the question is, are ANUnnaki still with us? The people from Nibiru, reddish white people, they have characteristics. Because they mix with their inbreds. They have all sorts of morphologies. Apart from color, because of the messes in the creation, on the process of making hybridization, some are very white, others are very red, others are in the middle. These people have eyes, some eyes are slanting, some eyes are so like there are no eyelids, just like balls or something, or big tissue on top of the eye. Some have to do plastic surgery. Some you find as if the eyes are shut, well actually they are looking at you. You will not find this in black people. In black people, all eyes are normal. So it's a clear evidence there was no hybridization with the black people. But when it came to reddish white, there was all sort of, there are all sorts there about hybrid anomalies and everything. These people, they kill as an art or a hobby. Just have killed an elephant, then go to kill a lion, then go to kill, I just want to kill so many crocodiles. They are happy doing it, they are killing. They even eat it raw, meat raw. It's like wild animals. They like making people slaves, to slave for them, to work for them. Command them around and treat them as lords. They look down on black people. Black people they have been slaves in all areas of white people, from America to Britain to Asia. He has been a slave in all those areas. He has been looked down upon by all of them up to this day. And it will be so until when Yahushua comes. These people, they fight to kill. Normally, with the black people, when they fight, somebody knocks you down. They wait for you to get up and make a decision if you have to proceed with the fight. These reddish white people, they knock you down, they follow you there, they finish you. And when they bury you, or whoever takes you to bury you, you'll be checking on that grave in case you resurrect. They are great rapists and pedophiles. You know, the history in China about the wars, whenever they go to war, the history is this. Great rapists, even raping their own people. And pedophiles, they really like that pedophilia business. Small girls who are very mature. They destroy the environment for the sake of money. What they want is power. And money is power. Whatever power is, they have to go for it. Doesn't matter how many people they crash on the process. Yeah, that is matter how many people they put in the farming on the process. They don't listen to anything else apart from man, their money aspirations and power aspirations. There is, to them, climate change is nothing. What matters is money. They believe the answers are in technology. The answer of everything in technology. While the black man, the black person, has believed nature has virtually all the answers for everything. The reddish white people, they believe technology is the answer. That's why they listen to these people who come from other planets. They are calling extraterrestrials. They want the technology. That is the answer. They don't have to believe in God. Now they are even euphoric. They even visit there now. They even find very normal human beings. They are saying they are hybrids of those people. It is in them. They have something in them that tells them that they are hybrids. So basically, it's like they are confessing that they are hybrids of aliens or people away from this earth. Open the YouTube. They say they are aliens. They call their children angels. There's no time when black people have called their children angels. They have that in their bloodstream. It is there that there is something in them that is alien. And that it is obvious now. We are reading it. These are the ANUnnaki. And maybe other abyss, extraterrestrials. They still identify. Many of them identify with the first ANUnnaki to be born on the earth, Nana and Ninra. Their first ANUnnaki ancestors to be born here on this earth. So we hear they are Nan, Nani, Nana, Nancy, Nina, Ninos, Ninati, Nema. They refer to those names. They are their ancestors. There is some blueprint of everything. It's more like obvious that these people are the ANUnnaki and they are hybrids. There is aspect, the one they usually call the Nordics, the yellowheads and such, the Nordics especially. They are the actual, typical. And then we have got that range that is from pure ANUnnaki to hybrids. People like maybe like Indian sites and all that, Asia Minor. Many in Asian Minor, I think they are more of hybrids. Then we come back to go to. Anyway, what I mean is the reddish white people, range from red to white and very white. Some are still pure ANUnnaki. Others are their hybrids. They continue to marry and intermarry. Yes, I think they are here. We've always been with them, and now they are even marrying black people now. They are saying mixing their seed now with the black seed. The original human who was created by God. Now let's visit the 200 angels who came to Mount and landed in Mount Ahamon. Now this was at the time of Jared, the one mentioned in the book of the Noah book, Enoch, and the rest. The time of Jared, that's when these 200 angels came, and they said to have married human beings and messed up the human beings with the human beings and also the animals, and so the flood came. On the other story, the ANUnnaki messed up the human beings and even married the hybrids, and then the flood came. Then the names of the angels and the names of the ANUnnaki are very different, meaning they are two very separate groups. And yet, only one of them messed with the human creation for the flood to come. Only one of them, one of these groups is the one which messed. Both are, they claim to have messed up with the humans, and then there was a flood. Each one of them. The angels messed with humans, and then the flood came. The other side of the story, the Anunnaki messed with humans, then the flood came. You see? Now, these are two groups. So, who are telling the true story? Where is the story? Which group was it? One side of the story is lying. Which one? Which one? Which group is it? It can't be two of them. It can't be angels and Anunnaki people at the same time. There has to be one group of them, because these people are not the same, as you will see afterwards. Remember, I asked you to look the names of the Anunnaki people. Now, these are the names of the angels. These names, you find that none of them resembles the Anunnaki names. Samzaza, Tamiel, Akibiel, Miel, Daniel, Atikapa, Aritel, Turiel, Mbalaal, Zavebe, Mioel. These are the names of the angels, and others 200 of them. To a total in 200. What I want to show here is a sample of a few to show that they don't share names. They are very different people. Anunnaki have their names, and the angels have their names. So when we say angels, this came, they messed up with human beings. And then we say Anunnaki also came up and messed up with human beings. So that's what we are asking. We can see they are different, their names are different. And they came at different times. So who actually messed with human beings and the flood came? The angels or the Anunnaki? See, that's the question. Somebody's lying. See, Yahushua talked about the misleading information and practices to appear in the last days. All this about UFOs, Ebes, Anunnakis, and other creators who claim to be creators. Yeshua talked about all this misleading information in the last days. And someone becoming says, I am Christ. Let's see Matthew 24 verse 24. He says, for their will, this is Christ talking. For their, Yahushua is the one who's talking. He says, for there will appear false messiahs and false prophets, performing great miracles, amazing things, so as to fool even the chosen if possible. Do you think these miracles is just mere human beings who be doing these miracles? Certain these people we are calling, they are coming from somewhere else. These are the people who will come, materialize, and start doing miracles, and we shall start believing them. Because it's very handy for a human being to believe another human being. There has to be somebody who is very convincing, who has got the powers from above. The technology is perfect. They want to come and be calling fire from heaven, and it happens. These are people who come from another planet. They will come, they will lie to us, they will perform these miracles, they will say, I'm Jesus, they will create a lot of peace. And when you say, people will be saying, oh, there's a lot of peace now, and then you start saying, now worship me because I am God. You have seen I can do anything. Yeah, I'm even calling rain, I'm calling fire, anything. So worship me. I'm the one who is Christ. There's no other one. That's what will happen. Not expect a certain Arab becomes mad, or a certain Christian becomes is the one who is calling for fire from the skies, to come. Forget about that. This is somebody who will be respected by all the world. Somebody to cause peace, to bring peace, is no simple feat. Is somebody remarkable who will be honored by the whole world, who will be feared by the world, and that person must be alien. It will be alien, but it will not be Christ. Yeah, they are the ones who are just coming now to confuse the people. Yahushua continuing to say in Matthew 24 verse 13, but he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So he's very careful about it. He says you'll be deceived and all that, but my people are those who are going to endure to the end. They are the ones I'm going to save. Not now, I'm just saying I'm being saved and such. You have to endure to the end. And so, he gave another advice. In Matthew 24, 42, 44. He said, Yahushua said, so you stay alert, because you do not know what day your Lord will come. You must always be ready, For the Son of Man will come when you are not expecting him. So continue enduring to the end. The end means the Son of Man when you come. If you die before he comes, you have endured to the end. So that is what in the advice he is giving. So Yahushua tells us to stay alert. But how can we, what is he talking about? Ephesians is expounding further. Ephesians 6:16 verse 18 says, always carry the shield of trust with which you will be able to extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Flaming arrows of the evil ones, because these arrows are, like fornication, like stealing, like lying, like, anyway, disobeying God in all the statutes, disobeying Christ in what Christ said, disobeying what is the disciples have written through inspiration. Yeah? That, if you disobey that, that is disobedience. Those are the arrows of the evil one. Yeah? It makes you disobey. It points arrows of disobedience. And take the helmet of deliverance along with the sword by the Spirit. That is the word of God. Why? Because the word of God is written. Christ was telling the Satan, because it is written. I will not do this, what you are saying, because it is written. So you also quote, it is written to Satan. When he shoots the arrow, you say, because it is written this way, I'm not going to fornicate. Because it is written, do not steal, I'm not going to steal. So now, the word of God, you are using it to shoot back. As you pray at all times, pray at all times, because the devil is roaring like a lion next to you with all the kinds of prayers and requests in the Spirit, vigilantly and persistently from God's people. Keep praying for one another at all times, because the devil is not resting. The devil is very clever. He is not going to bring aliens so that you can lie to you, so that he can trap you. You come through your friends, through your enemies, through your family, through your acquaintances, through your children, through your emotions. You should be able to control your emotions. But he comes and takes advantage of your emotion to finish you up, to make you transgress. Through peace, where there's a lot of peace, you find, there is no point even of praying God, even of prayers. So what am I praying for? There is a lot of peace. There is a lot of enough to eat and rest and rejoice. That is a warning. The devil is taking control now. Through your turmoil, through your beliefs, the way you believe it is, you are created now by aliens. So what is the point of God? God was another alien. So you stop believing in him. Through beliefs, through your aspirations. If you believe the wrong thing, it's the wrong thing. It will never be right. It's wrong. Through your aspirations, you want to achieve something at all cost. You don't care how many people you step on, you trod on, before you get to your point, to your destination. Your aspiration, you create so many errors on the way, to trying to aspire to get what you want to get. You kill people, you cause in so many ways, you cause chaos. Through poverty, you're rejecting God. Through your riches, you're rejecting God. There's so many ways. There's so many ways. So what you have to do is to be watchful. But what is to be watchful? All this is very frightening. To be watchful. The one who endures to the end. Armor yourself with the word of God. Stay alert. They are all very frightening. Because it's not very easy to accomplish all those things. Because the devil is everywhere, roaring like a lion. Stay sober. So Peter says, 1 Peter 5 verse 8, stay sober, stay alert, Your enemy, the adversary, stalks about like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. That's why you relax a little. There is peace, he is there roaring like a lion. There is hunger, he is roaring like a lion. So whichever way, whichever dimension in your life you are in, know that he is next to you roaring. He is timing you. He never sleeps. At any single deviation on disbelief or anything, he is there to capitalize on that and finish you up. So that when he goes to hell, you can go to hell with him. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Be blessed.